If the payoff to this story is just going to be that Vanessa eventually finds out that Joey had Doug killed and she's so sad about it, it's going to fall so fucking flat, you might as well call the story Kansas. What is up, everybody? I am back to discuss today's episode of Beyond the Gates, that aired today, back from our 3-day weekend, and a disappointing one it was, although we called it last week on Friday that Doug would not be real, that he was just a ghost or a vision, and that Deanna was just seeing him in her own mind, I guess, which I don't like for several different reasons, not just for this story, but like the entire show. The writing on this show has left a lot to be desired for quite a while now, and this doesn't change things. Before I even get into all of that, I do want to say that this show takes its fans for granted. I mean, most soap operas do, just to be fair and to be clear. Most soap operas take their viewers for granted, expecting them to just be there all the time, every week, because we're so loyal and we want the show to succeed. But with this show, I've been honest that when the ratings come out this year, the total viewers is very consistent. Total viewership for this show is very consistent. I thought it might drop late April, early May, because the show did get so boring, but it hasn't. But something that has dropped from last year to this year is the demo. People under 50 not watching this show as much as they did last year, and it's clear as day why. The pacing is terrible. But I also think they take the younger viewers for granted too. There is no reason we should not have gotten follow-up on Tyrell and Jessica from the cotillion having sex for the first time. 3 episodes later, still no follow-up. Like, without that consistency for these younger characters, and I'm going to keep harping on this, how are we going to go into the summer, which is when you can actually maybe pull in younger viewers, soap operas used to do, to get a younger audience in the summer? But like, if you don't put the time into those characters, and more importantly, the consistency, less people are going to care. They actually built something good with Tyrell and Jessica when they brought in Jessica's parents. And I know we're going to get some follow-up with Tyrell this week because it was in the preview, but I don't know if we're getting any follow-up with Jessica. And I think that's a mistake. But I also think this Deanna storyline is a mistake too. So Deanna saw Doug. She asked if it was real. They hugged and everything. He said he misses her too. Doug says he is there because Deanna needed him. He tells her that she needs to get away from Joey, needs to get Vanessa away from Joey before it's too late, and that Joey is the reason he is dead, and admits that they flaunted the affair in his face before he died. So whatever vision that Deanna is seeing, it is an accurate description of what actually happened to Doug. So this vision of Doug is saying that he is worried about her and her mom, and that she's the only one that can see through Joey's lies, and she must get Donnell and Vanessa from under Joey's grasp. And that even though Deanna tells this vision that Vanessa doesn't even mourn him anymore, she just flaunts Joey, the vision tells her to give Vanessa grace, which pissed me off, and then the vision disappeared. So I don't like that. I don't think Vanessa needs any grace. But it's why I say this is going to be... this doesn't fix the story. The story still sucks. The Joey, the Grandpa Gangster, and Traz storyline still sucks because there's no actual good payoff for us as an audience without Vanessa suffering. Like, Vanessa has to straight up suffer for there to be any real good payoff for this storyline. And I don't know if I see these not so great writers doing that, because the way they're building up the story, the way they still try to throw things in dialogue to make us seem like Vanessa really cared about Doug, or that Deanna should give Vanessa some grace, that doesn't work. If the payoff to this story is just going to be that Vanessa eventually finds out that Joey had Doug killed and she's so sad about it, it's going to fall so fucking flat, you might as well call the story Kansas, because that's how flat it's going to be. Because that is not a payoff to the story anymore, because none of us as an audience buy that Vanessa gives a single fuck that Doug is dead at this point. Then today they have Donnell finally sticking up to Joey again, asking all these questions about the night that Joey died, even though this was a repeat conversation that happened between these two when Donnell first came on the show. It was kind of a repeat conversation of that. Donnell saying that when Doug left and died, it worked out great for Joey. And Joey then got to play Savior after that. Joey says that he didn't predict he would have a relationship with Vanessa after. And when Donnell asks why Doug wasn't cut off drinking that night, Joey, of course, says that it's a casino. That's how casinos make their money. Donnell is ready to leave after that conversation and appreciates the truth. And then he leaves looking like he's leaving with his tail between his legs when it comes to Joey. And it's just another example of another weak man on this show. Let's just start at the beginning of my notes and get through this. Trash and Nicole were together talking about Donnell and Joey bonding. Vanessa wants them to get along and wants Deanna to get along too. Nicole wants to know why Vanessa needs her kids to love Joey as much as she does. Does she think that Grandpa Gangster is going to play this paternal role? But then their conversation, of course, just devolved into Nicole's sex life. And then Kial texted Nicole. And then Nicole and Kial met up. And Nick Ho did something very dirty, just completely threw Carlton under the bus. And admitted to Kial that she thinks of Ted when with Carlton. That when she's fucking Carlton, she's thinking about Ted. And tells Kial that it doesn't happen with him. So not only should this be hella humiliating for Carlton, once again, that not only is she thinking of Ted when she's fucking him, but now she's telling her other fuck buddy, Kial, about it too. Like, there's no winning for Carlton in this storyline. If they don't make Carlton the Impaler, they need to just write him on out of the show. Because how can we as an audience even want to see yet another weak man on this show who is acting like he's way too young in this triangle with Nicole, and then Nicole's humiliating him in this triangle as well. Anyway, the Nicole and Kial scenes didn't do it for me today. Kial wanted to stay even though they weren't going to get physical and have sex. They just sat together and worked together. It was probably supposed to be sweet, but we don't see Kial enough for me to care, and I don't care about these two as a potential couple. Ted and Kat were out together. Kat was noticing that he didn't bring a date to the cotillion, nor did her mother. Kat learned that he and Shanice were going well until Shanice walked in on him comforting Leslie. I wanted Kat to just cuss out her father then and there, that he is still letting Leslie ruin things for him. But of course that didn't happen. Not that Ted would have listened anyway, because he's yet another weak, stupid man on this show. Leslie and Eva started the episode together. Leslie was ranting about Leah being a bad guy, ranting about Derek being dead, and they need to find someone new to run the free clinic. After asking Eva for the 12th time if she wants to come over and help with the free clinic and basically beg her again, Eva decided this time that maybe she will try and split time between working for Ted and working for her mother at the free clinic. So Eva went and interrupted Ted and Kat's conversation together. Eva was happy that Samantha won the cotillion. Eva congratulated Kat for that. Kat was actually nice back to her, saying Eva did good with the hair, so at least we didn't have to deal with those two having a rivalry today. Eva told Ted that she wants to manage the clinic until a replacement for Derek is found. She wants to do this for Derek because she and Derek were getting close as friends. It's whatever. It's not a real storyline for Eva, though. I said this today during the watch along. I'll say it again. I was saying this last summer, that you could see the writing on the wall for where the writing was going for this show when they couldn't come up for good storylines for Kat and Eva. And they were saddling both of those characters with the robot that is Tomas. That's when the writing first showed that it was really starting to crumble. Because those two were at least the two most popular characters when the show started. The first 6 months, if a clip was posted of them on Twitter, posted on YouTube, it would get the most eyes and likes by far. And if the show can't figure out good storylines for these two younger characters, what faith am I to have in the rest of these damn storylines? Hayley and Randy were together. They were talking about Lynette. I don't care if I'm not going to see Lynette. Why do I care about these characters constantly talking about them? Bill was with Tomas talking about Lynette because of one of Kat's leads. But Kat's wrong with this lead, so it feels like a waste of time with Kat thinking that maybe Leah got rid of Lynette. We as an audience know that didn't happen though. So it just feels like yet another way for the show to do a poor way of stretching out a story. They're not good at stretching out stories on this show. It's repeat conversations and trying to add more things to a storyline so you don't have to actually tell a full storyline and reach a climax. It really is giving passions. It really is. Repetitive conversations, storylines moving at snail's pace was a passions staple. And today we had a ghost, so I don't know. I don't know if that's the best soap opera you want to try and be like. Bill had a shaky hand, though, in this episode, so maybe at least the poison is finally taking some effect. But, like, Hayley wants to move this stuff faster. Randy still doesn't want that to happen. Randy's still saying, take it slow. And at the end of the episode, Hayley is poisoning Bill's drink again. Then Leslie had to sit down with Randy. They both talked about how they work with a complicated man like Joey. She wanted to try and make some sort of alliance with Randy where he would tell her info if anything comes up about her. Even she would tell Randy info if anything comes up about him or Joey. But Randy declined that alliance. So that entire scene just seemed like a waste of time too. And I think we're going to get another waste of time later in the week when Leslie, for the 5th or 6th time, tries to make an alliance with Hayley. Hayley always turns her down too. So we'll see if anything with Leslie even goes anywhere this week, or if it's going to be more of the same and Leslie not having an actual storyline, her just going from person to person, being annoying. That's gotten so old, so stale. But does this show care? Do the writers care? Do the producers care? Clearly not, because they are taking us for granted.